I believe I can. Yeah, she can't take away my joy. Yeah, she can't take away my hope. Cause I go day here for tomorrow. So don't leave me out because I'm young. You feel like said you don't understand me. You feel like said you don't love me. I like to say I can't be undermined. I wanna tell you that I was you with a dream. So I'm
coming to you live on Heart Talk, where we have a heart-to-heart talk with the hopefuls for the World Alliance Executive Committee. This show will be packaged and sent to all regional alliances as well as the World Alliance. So we thank you for being our studio audience. So we would like to start off by asking each of us, our participants, to introduce themselves. But first, let us get to know them. First, we have Patricia Pelton, and we have Babel Marcus Gomez, and they are both vying for the position of president. Then we have Augustine Garcia, who is vying for the position of vice president. And to my right, we have our homegrown Jirka Gerbergers. Sorry, yeah. We'll edit that part. I practiced all day. And Kevin Fiashino, who are going for positions on the World Alliance Executive Committee. So we will also go to the floor at some stage and ask our studio audience to, in true African transparency style, give them a question or two. So really at the stage we just want to appreciate them for giving their time and their talent, as well as interrogating them here. We're going to give them our blessings. So a big round of applause for them for giving up their time and being prepared to do so. Right, Patricia, please could you introduce Kevin?
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Kevin Fiashino from Togo, who's a youth representative. Kevin is a lawyer and currently works as a consultant at the State House in Togo. He is on the Africa Alliance YMCA Executive Committee as the youth representative, serving as the head of the governance committee. His African and world experience involves him being both an S2C ambassador and a global change agent. He has served at both branch and national level, programmatically, and in governance positions.
Thank you. So welcome, Kevin. And now, Kevin, could you please introduce Jirka?
Thank you very much, Jill. I will avoid to pronounce the family name as well. My friend Jirka is a professional in the community and leadership development, and he has worked in the legal and community development, also delivering theory training in area of transformations, leadership, project management, gender studies, youth life skills, community conservations, coaching and mentorship to various governmental and non-governmental entities. As the Eastern Zone representative on the African Alliance World Executive Committee, Jirka served as the vice chair for the Ethiopian YMCA, and for almost a decade has played leadership roles at the local and national level. He is an active member of the Core Identity Committee at the African Alliance.
Thank you. And Jirka, please introduce Augustine.
Thank you. Augustine has been with the YMCA for as long as Jill has been alive. That's only
23 years.
Has been alive, and he learned to swim and serve in the YMCA. A lawyer by profession, his specialty has been in business and corporate law. He has several years of experience as a policy volunteer with non-for-profit organizations. As the YMCA, he has served as a secretary and vice president of the board of directors of the Mexico City YMCA and is currently the chair of the Community Development and Social Assistance Committee. Since 2014, he has been the chair of the Mexican Federation of YMCAs. Thank you.
Thank you. Augustine, please introduce Babu.
Thank you, Gil. My pleasure. Good afternoon. I give you Babu Marcos Gomez. With a master in economics, Babu joined his family business, which is now one of the major logistic providers in Bangladesh. Besides YMCA, he serves as the president of the Christian Cooperative Credit Union Limited of Dhaka, which has its worth of more than $68 million and directly serving 40,000 members. His involvement with the YMCA spans local to global levels and leadership levels. He is the current president of the Asian Pacific Alliance and has served as a member of the Youth, Gender, Movement Strengthening, Finance and Constitution Committee on various tenures. He has also played various roles in the World Alliance Executive. Between 1998 to today, focusing on youth, constitution, finance and strategy.
Thank you. Babu, please introduce Patricia.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce my good friend, Patricia Paulson. For more than 20 years, Patricia has been a dedicated volunteer in Canada and globally. Patricia was recently invested into the YMCA Fellowship of Honor, is a past chair of YMCA Canada and has strong ties to the YMCAs in Alberta as a participant and governance volunteer. She has been active globally for many years, including holding roles as a member of the National Board, World Relationship Committee, as a member of the Executive Committee of the World Alliance of YMCAs, and as the chair of the World YMCA's Image and Impact Committee. She is currently serving as Canada's representative on the World YMCA Safe Space Learning Group. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, now we've been hearing a lot about safe spaces, so we like us all to consider this lovely little world movement we live in as a safe space. So tell us, Kevin, something that no one else knows about you and the World Alliance.
Whoa.
I've asked Kevin to tell us something we don't know about him. Nobody else knows about him.
I think I used to say I'm the product of the YMCA, and I'm among those right people that go through all the YMCA steps and process, from local level in my small community to national level and to the continental level. And I'm the one believing the investments the YMCA is doing the young people. And me sitting here, when my friend was presenting me, he presented me as a consultant at the State House. Of course, I entered the State House as a consultant, but today my role is more than a consultant. And I think this comes from the work or the experience I gained from the YMCA. And this is really listen. We want people to know what we are doing, what are the results of all the meetings we are doing, all the training we are doing, what are the results. It's a kind of these achievements.
Thank you. Yorka, what don't we know about you?
Yeah, it's difficult to explain, but I'm not a good communicator, but I am a good policy crafter. So I can support the World YMCA in creating policy, crafting guidelines, and creating a good environment for the young people to grow and influence their life and the world.
Thank you. Patricia, how about you? What do we know about you?
Well, not to be flip, but I did just learn to hula hoop counterclockwise.
Woohoo!
Actually, it's very difficult when you just do it one way. I can tell you that there are so many profound moments for me in doing YMCA work, and I expect for all of us. One of the most deepest moments for me was when I said the prayer for Africa in 2014. And another one was when I was given the huge honor of sitting at with the dignitaries and the guests in Durban. And it was my first World Council. And so I got the depth of what it means to hold a World Council in a country when you have the attention of the President's office, and it was the Deputy President that was in attendance. And actually that was because FIFA was on at the time and the President was, I think, in Germany. So that was an amazing moment for me, and I hope we get a chance to talk a little bit more about sort of why, other pieces about why we think we should be up here.
Okay, Augustine, tell us your secrets.
Well, something you don't know about me. I've been married for 23 years. I have 2 beautiful children, are the center of my world, and the reason why I keep on working in the YMCA. I have learned in the YMCA that it's the perfect vehicle to touch lives. When people ask me, what does the YMCA do in Mexico? I said, we are in the business of changing lives. So it's very important to me, the impact that the YMCA has in my family and in the community. I think we are in the best organization to touch and change lives for good.
And bring it right back home to our kids. Babu, finally, give us your secret. What don't we know about you?
I became the member of my local Y, it was in 1988. So I was go with my father. Actually, I don't have any interest about the YMCA. After getting the membership, I never go there. And in 1990, I got a letter from my local Y that they co-opted me as a board of director. So I was so surprised why they co-opted me, because on those days in my local Y, all the dignitaries of the community, they have become the board member, and they are all my father's friend. So I was quite surprised and feel embarrassed, to join in the board, because when I met in the board, so everybody is, they are all senior guy, most of them my father's friend. And then I find out that that was the year my YMCA is celebrating 25 years. And they invite the president of the country on that occasion. And then they find that there is nobody in the board who is a young person, who is below 30. So I was just 22 and I was studying in university on that time. So that's the reason they co-opted me. And then I think, okay, on those days the women's, they don't get the membership in my local Y. So I started the youth club over there and called my friends, the university friend, to be part of the YMCA. And within 5 years, we bring a lot of changes in my local Y. 2 times we bring them amendment, the constitution amendment in the annual general meeting to give the membership to the women. So the first time it was rejected. The second time marginally the members they accept. the women to be the member of the YMCA. And then I become the national president when I'm 27 years old. It was culturally, it's a bit, it's very shocking, especially in our context, because 3 of my vice presidents, they are 60 plus. So anyhow, I work with them. And then the first time I joined in the World Council in '94 in England, in World Week. The YMCA is celebrating 150 years on that year. And there were 1,500 participants. And we are only 45 young people over there. So that was the sparkling point for me. This is we call the YMCA, but there is no space for the young people. With the 1,500 people, just only 45. So we make a drama, to make a protest over there. And the day is gone, and afterwards in '98, the first time the World Alliance, they have a direct election and have a space, 5 position for the young people. And I have the privilege to be on that 5, to be elected as a EXCO member, as a youth. And then the journey begins. So nowadays, there is a good number of youth, and the gender balance is in the World Alliance Executive Committee. And the empowering the young people, that was taken as a core vision of the YMCA. So that's a long process to go there, and it's my privilege that I was on this way, run since from my university life to till now.
Thank you. And on that note, Kevin, we've watched you, most of us in this room, grow up from a young boy in the YMCA to a man who's willing to serve now as a youth. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? If you go to World Alliance, what's in it for us?
I think one of the things I learned from the YMCA is that we can be able to share what we have learned. So the next for us is to be maybe showing to the rest of the young people we are working with that it's possible that the YMCA program is sustainable. So, and keep inspiring. And also to show our elders that those people they are training, they are here ready to help and support.
Thank you. Now, Yemka, why do you think the other regions should vote for you?
I'm sure they will vote. They will vote for me.
Why?
And why? Because this is the time that to show the world that solutions are coming from Africa. Not only problems and challenges. Africa is full of solutions that can provide to the world, to save the world from cracking families, the big gap between poor and rich, and the disrespect for the environment, and so on. And Africa is still with strong family tie, with near to the nature and the environment. And we have a very strong family spirit that the world can learn from us. So I'm bringing those all assets to the world through YMCA.
Thank you. Patricia, what would we have to look forward to under your presidency?
Thank you. What I would bring to the World Alliance is a plethora, lots and lots of experience in both being a CEO and a board governor. And I know the difference between governance and operations. I know good governance, and the organizations that I've worked with on boards appear to have recognized that because I usually rise up through the ranks and work hard and attain a leadership position. How do you do that? You do that, and I do that through hard work, making the best use of the executive committee, keeping in very good relationship and a business working relationship with, in this case, the Secretary General, ensuring that the area alliances are working well with the World Alliance Office. Part of that is listening, and the most importantly, making sure that the strategic greatest amount of impact, positive impact on youth is upheld in our youth empowerment vision. So strong governance, good fiscal oversight, all those pieces that you would expect from a good, strong board, I believe that I can bring, and I can tell you that I am a hard worker, and I would work very hard on behalf of the movement.
Thanks, Patricia. Babu, what do you bring that is unique? What is unique, that is different, that innovative?
Especially is, my style of leadership is that always empowering my colleagues. So if if the God will, if I lead, chance the opportunity to lead the World YMCA, I can empower my colleagues, especially the young people, those are in the board, and give them a responsibility. Because from my experience as a youth on those days, I find there's many times there is a tendency that maybe the young, they have a less experience, so give the opportunity to those who are experienced. But the present world is changing so fast, and the youth, they are cope up with this changing, and it's very challenging for many of us. Those are, 50s, 60s. It's really challenging to cope up, with the fast changing of the world, especially the technological changing. So, my point of view is that I want to use the young people as well as the women. They're really, nowadays, in the YMCA there is a good balance, and they are really capable to implement our vision. And we have already a strategy we already take in this executive committee for 2018 to 22. Thank you.
Thank you. Augustine, why would you make the best vice president? Why would you make the best vice president? Why should we vote for you?
I think are two different questions. First, I don't think I am the best in any field of my life. I am a team worker. I am a man that knows and having learned how to work together with a group of persons. I am a believer in the balance between the professionals and the volunteers. I am a believer in the main reason for the YMCA to be here for more than 170 years is because of that balance. So I think the way to achieve them, the first step to achieve them, is through a good governance plan. And my professional background and my professional expertise and my activities in the YMCA world along my life makes me a good candidate for vice president to go along with all the executive committee, with the elected president, in order to achieve the goals of the YMCA.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you each now in one sentence. Patricia, If you were elected, what would you change?
In keeping with the vision, the strong vision of the strategic plan of 2018-2022 and its implementation, I would emphatically work very hard to improve governance, use of the executive committee members, the relationships of all those that are working with the World Alliance Executive Committee, and concentrate on resource development for a stronger world movement.
Thank you. Babu, what would there be if there was one thing you could get rid of totally? What would that be?
I want to see the World Alliance of YMCA youth-driven, with a Christian mission, good governance, and obviously we have a strong sustainable financial position of the World Alliance of YMCA and empowering the young people.
Okay, Augustine, one thing that you would definitely keep.
In one sentence, the 5 regions union of the YMCA, that comes to be a very strong position.
Yurka, what would you introduce? Something new?
Something new to the World YMCA is, as I mentioned earlier, there is always African way of solution. So I want to create a new perspective in the world scenario that the solution has to be embedded based on our perspective.
Okay. And Kev, how would you push the youth agenda? We are hearing a lot about the youth agenda. How would you as a young person push it?
I think the first step will be to give a global understanding of the youth agenda, and also to push for the implementation of new programs that pushing youth into action, more into action and governance. Like Yida was saying, we need to also add some African identity in this work when we are at the world.
Okay, thank you. Keep the mic. Now, there are things in life that we will not compromise on. So I'd like to ask you all to share with us one thing that you will never ever in your life compromise on. Kevin, what would you never compromise on? One thing.
My responsibility.
Yurka.
My Christian identity.
Augustine.
My principles.
Babu.
My Christian identity.
Patricia.
My Christian values and our commitment to the Christian and ecumenical mission of the YMCA.
Sure, such principles. Right, let's go to the floor. Thank you very much. You see, we have very principled people going forward on our behalf. Are there any questions that you would like to ask before we carry on? Studio audience, any questions for Kevin? Questions for Kevin? Are we just going to vote for him? Yes. Yes, woo! Okay. Any questions for Yurka? Antonio? Oh la la. Kevin, you are not in the hot seat.
What would you say are the top 2 challenges young people are facing today all around the world, in your experience?
Top 2 questions. Top 2 issues that we face.
Yeah, for me, there are 2 things that the young people are facing. Is one, the identity crisis, because of the globalization. They are more vulnerable to different things that erodes their identity. Then they need a protection from that. Then working with the youth and the young to develop their identity is one thing. The second issue is migration, particularly in Africa. Because I'm African, I'm facing every day that challenge. My brothers and sisters are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. One thing that they are pushed or pulled is the economic issue. So I want to show that Africa has a potential for the around children. So the young people are facing economic problem. Creating an opportunity within Africa will save them.
Thank you. Question to Augustine. First hand up. There were some questions. Okay. Anybody question to Augustine? No? So we're going to vote for Augustine. Do you have a question for yourself?
I made myself very clear.
I see. You're so principled about that too. And to the two going for president, questions? To Patricia and Babu. Anybody? Mon ami, Alain.
Yes, thank you. I want to ask to the two candidates, how will you support the other if you lose? Because you are two.
Thank you very much.
Actually, it's Patricia and myself, we are a very good friend. We worked together in 2010 to 14 in the executive committee together. So, whatever the result, I mean, we have to work together in the coming days because we love YMCA and we are part of the family member of the YMCA. So there will be no problem at all.
Thank you. I don't know that I can add anything to that. I mean, we are a democratic organization, and whoever has the most ballots will lead the organization. But certainly with a resource like this, should I win, I will certainly be calling Babu. And the other piece is that there is another candidate. So Dr. Park is also running. So there is actually three. He's not.
Patricia, what message do you have for a young person, specifically from Africa, who's going to be president of the World Council?
I just didn't hear the last part of it. Who's going to be?
Who's going to be president at the World Council? Someone on the voting ticket for you.
For a young person, what message do you have for them to bring them?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Like everyone on this panel, I am absolutely supportive of youth empowerment. I was so fortunate to be in Nairobi in 2012 when that was decided that was going to be the common vision of YMCA's. And I've had the opportunity to travel since then, and I have seen it in spades. And so we have to put action to words. It's fine to say it, but we really need to measure how we are empowering youth. And I mean, there's been some great ideas, and guys like Kevin are going to hold our feet to the fire. So that's really important. Specifically to young women, I would say a woman hasn't even run for president in the past. It's risky to be kind of the first one out of the gate. And no matter what the results are, I'm glad I did, and I hope that I opened the doors. Good governance suggests that the board governance and leadership should represent the people that are served. It doesn't have to be a complete representation, but there's a lot of women that are served in this organization, and we need to support our females that are looking to be leaders in the YMCA, and there are so many good women. Thanks.
We'll have our final question from Fred.
Thank you. Yeah, my question is a difficult one. It's on Palestine. You know, the Palestinian situation today is as South Africa in the 80s. It's injustice, it's occupation, it's human rights violation, and the YMCA is not very visible. The Palestine, East Jerusalem YMCA is very clear. They are asking for solidarity. They are asking us to put pressure on Israel. And we have a resolution from, I think, 1992, which is not implemented. So my question is very simple in terms of words, but very difficult in terms of providing a good answer. What will you do to support the Palestinians, including Gaza YMCA and East Jerusalem YMCA? It goes to both of you.
Actually, this resolution was taken in 1998, and after the resolution taken and it was posted in the website, so there was a huge reaction, came out. But at the same time, I think we need to, the YMCA should be a strong presence in this conflict situation to reconcile, because as we are believing in Jesus Christ, and Jesus saved for the justice for all, and for the Palestinian, our brothers and sisters, they are facing a terrible situation for many years, and as YMCA, as a global organization, we should go ahead with the agenda to reconcile, because it should be, it's not only the Palestinians suffer, but at the same time the Israel, they are also suffering. So that's the reality. So from my perspective is that we should take up the issues, and try to reconcile. I mean, we should be in the process to reconcile this conflict situation, and we have to stand on the oppressed Palestinian. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Such a difficult situation, and it's probably going to be made worse with the U.S. and I believe that there's another embassy now that is going to be moving into East Jerusalem, and it is a horrible situation. And we were so fortunate that we were able to go and visit both West and East Jerusalem and Bethlehem, etc., as an executive committee when I was on board. It is a very difficult situation. I believe that we should also work towards peace and reconciliation. One of the problems with jumping on board in terms of taking sides is that there is a great deal of potential risk. I would be willing as president to certainly look at the risk of that, what it means to each of the areas, if we do or if we don't, whether we make a statement or whether we don't, what are the expectations? And, a good president and executive committee, we are there at the behest and as a servant to the World Council. We would need to hear from our members, but if that situation has not gone away, and everyone in this room I know wishes that it did get resolved peacefully, and so I think it will come back on the table. If it comes back on the table, it will need to be looked at very closely.
Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, Fred. Very pertinent question, and I think something that this current incoming World Executive will have to look at. Right, now what we're going to do is each candidate will ask another candidate a question. So Kevin, what would you like to know from Patricia?
This is my first time to really meet a female that stands for these conditions. And right now, gender is one of the pillars of the program where YMCA is implemented. So what I would like to know is how will you be able to push this to go viral?
Well, thanks for the question, and for all the women in the room, and to you, thank you for that question. But by virtue of being in a position, of course, that's role modeling, that women can take leadership positions. And it also gives us a platform to address issues where we see gender inequality. So I think that would be very helpful amongst many NGOs, and that messaging certainly could take place. Listening to young women, and perhaps even a female caucus would be helpful of young youth, to say how could we best utilize this platform. I don't want to marginalize any of the males in the room. I have a son and a daughter, and I'm very pro young males, young women. It's just that we know that there's gender inequality throughout the world, including my country. Some people think that wouldn't happen. Yes, it does. And so it just gives us a really good opportunity to address the issue. Thanks.
Thank you. Jurgen, what would you like to know from Kevin?
We were friends for the last 3-4 years, so I know which weeks have been. But I want to know one thing that from him is how I can understand more from his experience in working with diversified people.
So if you were to have a position on World Executive, Jurgen is asking you, what is it about your experience in terms of diversity that you could bring to this position? What have you learned about diversity? Yeah, and working with different people.
I think I have been already working with different people in the YMC as a change agent. We have worked a lot with other change agents from other countries, and we are bringing a lot of experience. And currently myself, I'm also the country director for one of the global volunteering program called Project Abroad. And every year I used to work with 200 people coming from different parts of the world. So those experiences is something I will bring on board and share with my fellow colleagues of the board.
Thank you. Augustine, what would you like to know of Jurgen?
Once you are in the executive committee, Jurgen, what kind of special task would you like to be the head of? Committee or task?
It will be based on my experience working with the African Expo Committee. I work on crafting knowledge management tool and for identity, so I can work on that area.
Thank you. Babu, what would you like to know of Augustine?
So, Augustine, I mean, what use, your vision, I mean, you already shared your vision. That's, as we have to work in such a environment that's all the, different people from different part of the world, so they will come together. So do you think this is a challenge for you to mingle with them and to work as a to implement a common strategy for the World Alliance?
Yes, of course it would be a challenge. However, I guess that when you take aside the no's and you put in the table the yes, it would be easier to do so. And of course the positive and the yes thing in this world is the YMCA itself. So I am pretty sure that when each person coming from each region dealing with a particular point keeps in mind that the ultimate benefit should be the YMCA and its impact to the youth and to the world, that challenge will be not so hard, I think.
Okay, and Patricia, you and Babu are great friends, but what question would you like to ask with Babu going forward?
So Babu, if you could envision us in 2022 at World Council, wherever that might be, what would you say, what would you like to say were our greatest accomplishments as the World Alliance YMCA's Executive Committee?
Yeah, I guess one of the great things will be that the ongoing agenda. We are working on that, empowering the young people, and there should be and to make a clear identity of the YMCA, because we are struggling a lot in many parts of the world. What is the YMCA? The common people, the impression sometimes that people think that this is a hotel, they're running hotel business or gym or something like that, or have some school or some development work. But the thing is that should be a clear identity of the YMCA, the global YMCA. That's we are starting as a youth movement, and our vision is very clear, and we are working for the empowering the young people. So that is our core things that we're going to establish.
Thank you. And a final question, which involves a one-word answer. When you think of Africa, what word comes to mind?
Diversity.
Unity.
I would say union.
Ubuntu.
Potential.
Thank you very much, everyone. We hope that the studio audience has had a chance to get to know the candidates a little bit more. You will obviously have much more time in the build-up to the elections. But we know we need to vote with both our hearts and our minds. And so we hope that you have the chance to both feel enriched by this experience, but also feel able to come to any one of these participants' use tonight, next day, that you are together, get to know them a bit more. These are our leaders of the future. Thank you all, studio audience, and God bless you all.
I believe I can. Yeah, she can't take away my joy. Yeah, she can't take away my hope. 'Cause I go dig here for tomorrow. So don't leave me out because I'm young. You feel like say you don't understand me. Like say you don't love me. I like to say I can't be undermined. I wanna tell you that I was